Putin News Now. Putin's goal was to take credit for orchestrating a successful invasion of Ukraine. A think tank in Washington claims that Russian President Vladimir Putin planned to take credit as the mastermind of the invasion of Ukraine before things went south. On February 24, 2022, Russia began an all-out invasion of Ukraine. At the time, Western officials claimed that Putin was the sole commander of Russia's armed forces. According to the most recent assessment report from the Institute for the Study of War, this indicated that Putin likely intended to position himself as the sole commander and mastermind of the invasion should it prove successful. As of April 2022, according to reports from Western officials, Russia had not deployed a single military commander to Ukraine since the invasion began on February 24. It appears that Putin wanted to portray himself as the leader of Russia and the architect of the invasion and takeover of Ukraine, as stated in the report. According to captured Russian military plans, the Kremlin had hoped Russian forces could take Kiev within a matter of days, with Putin hoping to use the swift invasion as a political statement of victory for himself. The report added that Putin and the Kremlin believed the Ukrainian conflict would end within days. His plan backfired, resulting in widespread factionalism, chaotic chain of command, and unattainable goals. After Russia's initial invasion attempt failed and it withdrew its troops from Kyiv in early April, Putin appointed General Alexander Dvornikov to lead the invasion. Dvornikov had previously led Russia's campaign in Syria, where he had a record of directing attacks on civilians. Dvornikov was removed from his position less than 2 months later for falling short of Putin's standards. General Gennady Zhidko of the Russian army was appointed by Putin to the position, and he also took over as commander of the Eastern Military District, EMD, from Colonel General Alexander Chayko. In June and July of last year, the Russian army, led by Zhidko, began promoting more officers to command positions. In the months that followed, including at the beginning of the Ukrainian government's successful counter-offensives, which resulted in the liberation of large swaths of territory including the formerly occupied regions of Kherson and Kharkiv, the command structure was reshuffled. In April, Putin fired Colonel General Mikhail Mizintsev, who was in charge of the brutal bombing of the southern port city of Mariupol, continuing Russia's military shake-up. An unnamed friend of the general claims that Mizintsev was demoted for logistics, though the real reason for his dismissal remains unknown. On April 30, Russia announced that Alexei Kuzmenkov, a colonel general who has served as the head of the Russian Armed Forces Logistics Headquarters, a logistics commander in the Southern Military District, and the deputy director of the Russian National Guard, would be taking over for Mizintsev. Putin probably wanted to appear as the invasion of Ukraine's sole commander. His strategy contributed significantly to the war's factionalization and lack of centralized command. Early in April, following a failed attempt to seize control of Kyiv, Russia appointed a military commander.